Hi guys, welcome to the next analysis. Today we're looking at Lukas Krpalek and Teddy Riner. This is most probably not the most exciting fight to watch from a throw-in point of view, but I think it's a really interesting fight, especially with the Olympics coming up and Teddy starting to do a lot more, starting to do some competitions to qualify for Tokyo. Or at least make sure he still qualifies for Tokyo. And I think this is a really interesting fight because it's the first time they've both met each other. And it's really clear that Lukas has got a plan, a way that he wants to fight Teddy. And as I said, there's not loads of throwing, but from a tactical point of view, I think it's really important. And I think you can see there's a few things that we'll see over and over again that I think if you've not looked for it before, you'll definitely see it now. And a couple of the key points to look out for is I think that Lukas understands that he can't allow Teddy to sit back and just buy his time because Teddy will pick him off. So he's very attacking. He's going from he's not intimidated by the fight, and also you'll see how he really tries to stop Teddy's big right hand coming on and these two hands coming on. So I think it's most probably worth us getting started and taking a look. So here we go. First exchange, we can see straight away the intent from White here. Straight in, and this is a different contest for Teddy because it's against a left-hander and somebody who really wants to beat him. Okay, so from the first exchange, he showed his intent. Both are Olympic champions. Okay, Luke's just moved up to plus 100 at this point, and you can see he's not sitting on his back foot. He's going forwards. He's not allowing Teddy time to prepare. Now, what Teddy wants is to get his big right hand on. Now, what we'll see throughout the fight now, and I want you to try and look out for, is Luke's actually using his right hand, not his left hand, to block the shoulder coming over. So what he doesn't want is that right hand landing. And once his right hand comes on, that's when he's in trouble. So straight away there, we can see Teddy, as soon as he got his hand on, we'll just bring it back. So right hand comes on there. Not the best grip in the world, but he knows that he doesn't want two hands on him. Okay, so he's going to use his hips to break that off and go back to one. So ready, there. Take it away. Two hands are got on again. He definitely doesn't want to be there. So he needs to think about how's he going to get that off. Posture's been broken, and this is definitely a bad position for Lukas to be in. Two hands bent over, and you allow Teddy's weight to just come through, but there, he breaks it off again by showing his hips and shoulders there. And we saw this again in the Ono fight. I can't remember which fight it was though, but bringing the hips across. There we go. Taking him down to the ground and actually engaging in Newaza. Okay, he's not afraid to actually attack Teddy down there, which is really good. But Teddy is over 2 foot, so he's really difficult to move. He's a big guy. Now, at this point, minute and a half gone, Teddy's not done anything. Okay, pretty much all been from White, trying to attack, trying to go forwards. At this point, you can see that Teddy just wants to slow this fight down. Okay, the more he can build his preparation, the more time he's got to put two hands on, the more comfortable he'll feel. And this is where it's really important for White to really keep that pace up. Now, heavyweights and lightweights are completely different contests, and I think sometimes they're refereed like that. I think they are definitely given more time. Now look, back on that lapel here. There. This hand is so important. Cross gripping on this side. Now, obviously, if he puts two hands on, so if he grips in a cross grip, he has to attack. But he's never really committing this hand at this point. So he's using this to stop this big right hand coming over the top, which, if it does come over the top, and then Teddy gets his second hand on, it's really, really difficult to move. He's such a big guy, so strong, and he is still good at judo as well. So there. This is where the problems come. Two hands on, head down. So he needs to get away from there. One hand on, there, trying to take it off again. There's nothing really in that attack. He's going to ground. maybe he's conscious of the fact that he's not really attacking yet, and going to the ground will give him a bit of time, or at least a bit of grace, and not get shidoed. Okay, but I think one of the main differences with lightweights is they're back on that line quite quickly, and the referees force them to be. Now, obviously, it's difficult not to know who Teddy is, so there might be respect from the referee, but he's adjusting his kit all the time, and it slows the contest down. And I would really like to see that not happen, because what happens when he is flustered? What happens when he is tired? Will he have to be forced to try and throw? Now here, once again, this hand on. There, not really wanting to engage with two hands, which is sensible. As soon as Teddy gets two hands on, all the weight comes through you and you're in trouble. So there's no real want from White at the moment to get that hand on. That's it, just stay busy. Now I think they'll both get a penalty here, if I remember rightly, which is most probably the right call. White doesn't want to get a grip. Blue does most probably, but he's not going to work that hard for it at this point. So once again, lots of time, slowing the contest down for the kit adjustment. Okay, 2 shidos. So at this point, Teddy's down. 1 more shido and he's out. But once again, he's not letting, this is important here actually, let's pause this a sec. Even though he's not able to get his cross grip, Teddy's managing to get his left hand on. Now, there. By putting this left hand on, it gives you more power to throw your right hand, okay? He doesn't necessarily want the lapel at this point, although he does use it later on, but it allows you to throw your stronger right hand. So White here, Krpalek, is managing to pin that sleeve to stop it coming over, because he's not managed to, if he doesn't hold on to this sleeve, he's going to come over and pull his head down, and as soon as that happens, that's when the throws will start coming. So there. Now Teddy's managed to get 2 hands on, but now he's pinning this, trying to keep this sleeve off on this side, trying to stop him from pulling his head down. And there we go. That's the first real attack we've seen, and it's the first real attack that we've seen White actually allow him to get 2 hands on. And that's it. End of Newaza. As I said, I think this contest is really important because White's clearly got a plan. Okay, Teddy knows his judo, he knows what he wants to do. White needs to keep that control of that right arm if he can, or at least stop him pulling his head down. That's going to be the key to winning this contest. Now, the fight's being slowed down again. Tidying the kit, it's not come undone, the belt. He's just constantly... I'd like to see this going, because if he's getting tired, they're both going to get tired, and then there's more chance of actually a throw happening. But there's just too much time in between. Now, obviously, you say, well, there's no way he's going to penalise him with two on the board and disqualify him. They're back on that cross grip, blocking that shoulder. Now, trying to keep that distance, 1 hand on. There. Okay. Nothing really there with 1 hand. It's really difficult to get any sort of sumigation working with 1 hand on. Uchimata is difficult as well, obviously. But cross grip again, forwards, controlling that shoulder. There, keeping that hand off. And it's so clear to see that he's been working on it. He's got a plan, doesn't want this, so he's got his big right hand on, but hasn't got the sleeve at this point. Okay? Now, once again, Lukas Krpalek's just gone for the same thing that Teddy's done. Turned in half-hearted Uchimata into sumigation, which is just so difficult to be able to score. So difficult. So here, get back to your feet, get back to the line. And that's the whole fight slowing down again. We're 40 seconds away from golden score. I think at this point, it just needs to keep that pace going forwards. I think the second both of them are tired, we've got more chance of a throw or a mistake at least. So head coming down now. 2 hands on the lapel. There, pulling, trying to break that posture, trying to pull his head down. The more he can pull his head down, the more chance he's got of standing up. And when he stands up, then you can turn. So once again, now we need to see an attack. There. Good. Nice strong attack there. Let's just take that back a sec. But you can see the pressure coming down, pulling partner down. Pressure. Now, just needs to get his feet. Now, when you're pulling down, you need to try and get this weight on this side, because what you want is White to start putting pressure back over this side. So the more you can pull down and attack this near leg, there's a higher chance he's going to transfer his weight across. And when he transfers his weight across, then you can actually turn. So here, yeah, one leg, but more pressure there. And you see he come to the near side before he stepped across, which is really important. And then come out for the Sumigaesh. Here we go, back to the start. I mean, for me, as Lukas, he's now world champion. He wasn't at this point in plus 100s. He's world champion in plus 100s. I think he's going to be one of the real serious competitors to Teddy, one of the guys. And I think they've actually just been drawn this week, at least to meet in Brazil at the Grand Slam there. So here we go, evened up on the Shidos there. But I think that was only from one exchange, though, which seems a little bit harsh to get that. But there, 2 hands on. He's managed to get that sleeve off. Now, you can say with this movement here, let's go back, sorry, a little bit further on. Teddy's got 2 hands on from here, and he's shown his hips to come across. He definitely doesn't want to be there. And there's no real movement whatsoever. And to get a guy like Teddy over, you need to create some sort of movement. But here we go, golden score, moving through. The tactics from White, I think, so far has been really good. Control that shoulder, try not to let him have 2 hands on, and just try and keep on disturbing him. I think it's going to be always difficult to throw Teddy, but I think to actually outwork him, most probably is the strategy. Try and get him penalised, because now White's tired. You can see Teddy's managed to get 2 hands on. To fight him for the whole 4 minutes is a lot of hard work. You know, he's not engaging in his Newaza now because he knows he's tired. So I think most probably trying to throw Teddy is the wrong thing. I think trying to outwork him, try and get the penalties built up, control that shoulder, you know, keep that distance, don't let him pull your head in, it is most probably the most sensible way. But he's back on it, there, but 2 hands on. There, good movement, good attack. I think that's great work from White. Really, really good. And I think one more exchange like that, then you'll then start questioning, well, should Teddy be penalised for not attacking? So once again, on that cross grip, he's not got 2 grips, so there's no penalty there for that without attacking. You can see now this is where fatigue's really starting to hit both of them, and the size advantage must have an overbearing fact. Now head down, pulling in, 2 hands on. There. And you can see he tried turning in, but he just didn't have the same energy as before. Now once again, I think we should be back to your feet as quickly as possible. And this is where I don't like the kit being adjusted all the time, because we're a minute into golden score and he's tired. Let that go. White has had a good series of attacks. He's got putting the pressure on, and now he's allowing to dictate the pace of the fight. He's allowed to slow it back down again. He's allowed to get his breath back and allowed to get ready to fight. This is the worst thing for White. He really wants to be at him, but there's a massive gap, humongous gap in between these attacks. And then back on, forwards. There, cross grip. Now Teddy's got that hand on and now able to pull him in. Head's coming down, trying to break that posture. Now there's no way White is ever going to get across from there. Okay, so let's just take that back a sec. With that control and grip, 2 hands on, and it's a grip that actually Ono uses quite a lot from here. Look at the distance. Look how far away he is. Okay, to drive a guy as big as Teddy, as strong as Teddy, and no getting away from it, he's still good at judo, all the way over is unlikely. And actually, if Teddy pulls his sleeve, the counter this way is on as well. So let's continue that. So there, and then actually tries to step across him. You know, maybe throwing from the knees might have been the option there. But you can see both boys are clearly tired. To continue with this fight strategy of controlling the shoulder it's just exhausting. You know, I can't imagine White can have that many training partners as big as Teddy. It's so hard to get that repeated in your training. But once again, look how slow this is. So slow getting back to the line. We need pace, but he's able to slow it down, bring it back, go back into his comfort zone. He knows he needs 2 hands on to throw, and that's all he's focused on. 2 hands on, pull him in. 2 hands again. See, earlier in the fight, White was trying to break this off, keep turning in sideways, but he's now standing still with him. There. And there's our score. Okay? And it's fatigue. It is fatigue. There's no getting away from it. You can say, oh, they're professional athletes, but you're going to be tired that far into a fight, fighting at this intensity. But look, there, just stood still. His head's offline. He's not upright. He's not trying to roll the shoulders through like he did before when he was a lot fresher. And he just stands. Teddy tacks in near side and then comes across. There. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be loads of people. There's going to be loads of people who says, "Oh, that wasn't a Wazari, that was you." But those are the rules. It was definitely a Yuko, and in today's rules, a Yuko is a Wazari, and it was golden score. But I think that was a really, really interesting tactical fight. Watching somebody who clearly had a plan and actually was really close to executing the plan. And I think this is going to be one of the interesting matches moving forwards to see. I think Lukas is most probably going to be my favourite to actually beat Teddy. Not that I want people to beat Teddy. I think he's a great champion. He's great for judo. But I just find it really interesting how close he come. And I think if anybody's going to beat him, it's going to be him. And also I think the tactic of, controlling that shoulder, keeping the pace up and not necessarily worrying about throwing him because he's so big. So that's that match. They're due to fight again soon. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not as exciting as the Ono one for throws, but I think it's a real interesting insight to the contest and heavyweights. If you did like the video, take a look at all my other stuff on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe, hit the button, and look forward to next week's.